What's wrong?
Mommy, I got Keegan in the bag.
Oh my goodness, he's driving the bus? Over there to eat? Wow. Hello guys, and welcome to today's video. I thought it would be so fun to do a video showing you guys what I bake in a week, specifically with my sourdough starter. So all of these recipes are with my sourdough starter. The first thing I started baking this week were sourdough bagels, and I started the dough in the morning, so this is in the morning around 9 a.m. and I mixed in all the ingredients for the dough. I will put all the ingredients and the recipes that I followed in the description below because it would be too much to put on screen. But this is the morning. The kids are going crazy. Actually, in the audio of this clip, it was completely silent, so I have no idea what they were doing. But it is never like that. You'll see throughout the rest of the video. It's normally pretty chaotic, but it's still so fun, and I love having them around when I'm baking. Also, as you can tell, I am very pregnant. I'm 30 weeks pregnant now, so that adds a layer of difficulty to the baking, but I still needed to get it done. Bagels is something that I make probably every other week, maybe every 3 weeks, and I do a very big bulk dough so that I can do a ton, and then we can have some for the next 3 weeks. So I'm going to be showing you guys things that I bake on my big baking week, as I call it. I normally will have a week where I do a ton of baking, so I'm stocked up in the freezer for the weeks ahead, and then I have a few weeks off of baking. So this is my bake week. That's enough. You go put it back in. Okay, that's enough, Coco. The next thing on my list for baking week was, after making the bagel dough, I have to feed my sourdough starter so that I can do more recipes for the rest of the week. So here I'm just feeding it. I don't have a certain measurement that I follow. I just have been doing it so long now, I just kind of go by feel. I know that bothers some people, but it's just too much for me to measure it since I just know by feel. But now this clip is at the nighttime, so probably around 7:30 p.m. the boys were winding down for the night, and I'm just kneading the bagel dough one more time, and then I'm actually going to put it away in the fridge overnight so that I can bake them the next day. I have found when I do this with my bagels, they turn out way better than when I bake them right away. So yeah, I'm just putting it in some saran wrap, wrapping it up, putting it in the fridge, and then I will get it out in the morning and let it warm up before I start baking them. So now this is the next morning, and I'm actually going to be prepping some tortilla dough so I can bake both the bagels and the tortillas at the same time. The tortillas don't need as long to rise, so they'll actually be ready in a few hours when the bagels are ready too. I don't typically bake 2 things in one afternoon, but I was feeling very ambitious this day and just wanting to get more done in one day. And let me tell you, I probably won't do that again because I was feeling it the next day, but I got a lot done. Water? Yeah. Open? Mama. Cohen, no doggy food. Cohen. So now it is the start of nap time where I can finally start to shape the bagels and the tortillas and get them baking and done. So I start with the bagels because those take a little bit of time to rise once they are shaped. So I'm gonna start separating out the dough into equal sizes as best I can. I cut this giant thing of dough in half and then in quarters and then just keep going until I feel like the bagels are a good size. This part of the process definitely takes the longest and I feel like I'm standing here for forever, but it's definitely worth it. Obviously, otherwise I wouldn't do it. But the shaping definitely takes some time. So if you do plan on making these, definitely give yourself some time to shape the bagels. The actual cooking and baking of them is not that long and hard. It's just shaping these bagels that are definitely a labor of love. And normally I have their whole nap time, which is about 2 hours to myself to be able to do all of this quietly. But our oldest has decided to not take his nap. We've been having that transition. So you'll see eventually he ended up coming down and helping me, but it was actually pretty cute.
Oh, I hate you.
Gotta make it into a rolly.
Rolly.
Mm-hmm.
Ew.
Yep, just like those things.
I love me. I love me.
Want it on you?
Yeah. Hey, Hi. Oh, you. Whoa. Whoa. Mommy. Whoa. Whoa. Look. Me, Nana. Is he Howie?
Can you roll it into a rolly?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Look, the Rolly.
Good. You need to put a hole in it like this.
Oh. Yeah, look. Oh. Mommy, and here who?
You got a hole?
Yeah.
Good job.
Oh. Yeah.
The other one?
Look. I will. Oh. Deep. Oh, we dirty.
Dirty.
And look, the key. Whoa, hello, I did on the ground. Whoa, what is he?
Don't touch, please. Leave it there.
Howie, he don't want to go Howie. Whoa, look, is he?
Good job.
Mommy, look.
So now all the bagels are shaped and I'm gonna let them sit here for about 30 minutes to an hour while I start on the tortilla dough. But they're all ready to go and they're just gonna sit here for a little bit. And for the tortilla dough, I basically do the same thing as the bagels. I just separate it into little tortilla-sized pieces. I shape them into balls and then I'm gonna let those sit also for not as long, probably like 10-15 minutes while I get the cast iron skillets warming up on the stovetop. You want the cast iron skillets to be actually pretty hot once you start the tortillas. But these are all the little tortilla dough balls that I ended up making, and I'm gonna start out by rolling the first one out as flat as possible. I really try to make them as flat as I can because that's what makes the best tortilla, but normally they're a little bit thicker than I like, but they still work, they still taste amazing, and it honestly doesn't matter that much. Just try to get them as flat as you can. Then I put them on the cast iron skillet and let them rise for maybe 2 minutes on each side. It's not very long. I just let them kind of puff up and cook, and then they're ready to flip and be done. Then for the bagels, you're gonna wanna bring a big pot to a boil. I'm pretty sure I add sugar to the boiling water. Then you're gonna boil the bagels on each side for about 4 minutes. Then you're gonna plop them onto a baking sheet with parchment paper. Once you have the pan full enough to bake, you're gonna put them in the oven. I think it's about 20-ish minutes for mine, but I just repeat that over and over and over again. I did end up bringing myself over a chair, but I didn't end up using it very much because I was just constantly doing something. Again, I will probably not do the tortillas and bagels at the same time again because I was wiped the next day. I was in so much pain. So definitely do one at a time. I normally just do one per afternoon, but like I said, it was nice to get them all done in one day, but I probably won't do that again. And here are the bagels all done. They look so good. Like I said, these will probably last us 2, maybe 3 weeks. It's normally just Jacob who has probably one a day. And then here's the ginormous stack of tortillas. This will probably last us about 2 weeks as well. And then I'll start the whole process over again. I store all of the bagels and tortillas in just giant Ziploc bags. There is probably a better way to store them, but this works for us. I just put them in the freezer and then pull them out when we need them. I don't have to date them because, like I said, we use them within 2 weeks, but you could always date them if you want to. Then the very last thing I baked this week were pancakes, and typically I actually bake pancakes twice a week because the boys eat them every single morning for breakfast. For this recipe, I actually start the dough the night before, and Jacob kindly made the dough for me the night before because I was exhausted from the bagel and tortilla day. So he prepped that the night before, and then in the morning you just add some eggs and baking powder, some other things, and then I just bake them up on the griddle stovetop, and they're good to go. I, again, do a double batch so that we have enough for a few days, but we do go through these really, really quickly, so I do make these twice a week, but it's a really easy recipe, and this one doesn't take me very long at all, and typically the boys are preoccupied in the morning or eating the pancakes as I'm making them, so it's not as difficult. But this is a really fun recipe. They're so yummy, and I actually love eating them in the mornings too. Are you my tootie boy? Did you poop? Hey, stinky butt. Where are you going? But thank you guys so much for watching this video and seeing what I bake in a week. Again, I will leave all the recipes in the description down below for you. And I hope this inspired you to do some bulk baking for your family as well. But this is how the pancakes turned out. They, again, are so yummy. But give this video a thumbs up, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.